Hello, hello, come on in. For over 20 years, I have spoken on other people's stages, but you know what? God told me to create my own platform. So I decided to turn my autobiography into a podcast. Hopefully, you'll join me on this journey and turn your pain into power and your grief into peace. I'll share some juicy nuggets that did not make it inside the book and what was going on behind the scenes. My husband said, "But honey, did you have to put all of our business in your book?" The answer was yes, because God wants you to know the glory behind his story. My vision is to bring on family and friends who have walked this journey with me for their input and their point of view. I'm also going to have a segment called It's Testimony Time, and that's all about you. If you have a testimony, please let me know because I would love to invite you on as a guest to share your miracles in action, your story. If you have any comments or questions, please type them in the chat as well as let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know. My name is Angela Alexander. I am an author, inspirational speaker, grief coach, and co producer of my documentary film, Miracles in Action. And today is episode number 2. We're going to begin on chapter 3, titled My Lonely Soldier. Y'all, that's when I met my husband. So, a recap of episode 1, my sister Alice and I went to the NCO club, and that's at Fort Lewis, Washington. NCO stands for Non-Commissioned Officer. We went to the club, it was jam-packed. We found a table, seat, and a handsome young man was sitting across, just glazing us. He asked my sister Alice to dance, asking all kind of questions about me. Finally, we danced. He came up with this smooth line. Was go back to next chapter, last episode. You can hear what his opening line was to me: smooth operator. And then we had a dance and a conversation. So we're gonna pick up from there. Page 20. Oh, wait a minute, because see, I can't even pretend. It was a fun, meaningful conversation. His name was Surrey. He bragged about being in the Army, and I about the Air Force. Having done active duty in the Army, he downplayed my experiences in the Air Force basic training as, as if it were summer camp. I shared my experience nonetheless, feeling proud of my recent accomplishment. My age was the next topic because he thought Alice was my chaperone. 20, I said, but he didn't believe me and he asked to see some identification. When I showed him my military ID, he began laughing so hard. And then till he realized that, guess what? I'm 2 days older than him. So that was funny. Like Cinderella, my time ended before I was ready. The club was closing, and my duties as Alice chauffeur resumed. Surrey walked me to the car where we exchanged phone numbers, and he invited me to go out to the next day. That night, I wrote in my journal, this could be something. Despite the long night, the next day I managed to drag myself to McCord Air Force Base for a full 10-hour workday. My lonely soldier called as soon as I crossed the threshold of Alice's apartment at the end of the day. He didn't sound lonely anymore, nor was he thinking about being alone. In fact, he eagerly anticipated going out with me that evening. Alice and I were a package deal, I told Sari, because Alice's husband was in Korea on active duty. I explained that as long as Alice's husband was overseas, I didn't feel comfortable leaving her behind. Alice, Sarah, and I quickly became the Three Musketeers. And the NCO club was our stage. This scene played out time after time, weekend after weekend, again, because no matter, okay, here we go. No mister was going to come between me and my sister. He didn't mind, We all got along just fine. Sarah and I shared a lot in common and bonded like old time best friends. It sounded like a cliche, I know, but for us it was true. Comparisons between the Air Force and the Army and our closeness in age were always a running joke between us. For my 21st birthday, Alice and our friend Terry took me to a 21 and over club outside the base. I teased Terry, explaining that he was just much too young to, to join the grown-ups out on the town. After 2 months of dancing and dating and talking on the telephone into the wee hours of the morning, Cupid's arrow pierced our hearts and we were in love. Even though I weren't looking for a spouse, the thought of marriage had crossed my mind. The lonely soldier was fun to be around, generous, thoughtful, witty, and gainfully employed. Yes. Most importantly, he possessed the one quality I desired most in a spouse, and that's a sense of humor. Suri could make me laugh at the drop of a dime. He had the type of true comedic talent that I wanted and to which I gravitated. It reminded me of the humor that Lavelle brought to our family. Lavelle was my stepfather. Lavelle is my stepfather. Suri kept Alice and me laughing, a key that opened a place for both of us in our hearts. We welcomed him into our family. Most of us, I'm sorry, more often than not, you wouldn't just see the two of us, you would see the three of us. That was before my dreams were completely deflated. I think I need some more glasses. One night after a dinner date, Sarah became strangely uncomfortable and began talking in circles. Finally, he stumbled, I'm married. What you say? Okay. Hold on, hold the phone. Oh, Lord, good God, player, I screamed inside. You cut me deep. What a betrayal. I couldn't believe it. Oh, my goodness. How could this happen to curious me? Oh, they don't say curious. How I can't see. How could this happen to cautious me, Angela, the seventh wonder, wondering what now? Me, a mistress? Oh no. A homewrecker? Oh no. Caught up in a love triangle? Another woman's rightfully spouse, the wedding band of a man I had come to claim as mine? If I had only known, but my perception was influenced by deception. I was right in thinking Sir was good husband material, but legally he wasn't available. My womanly intuition had failed me. I learned firsthand that everything that glittered isn't gold. But how could I have been so naive? I wasn't sure where to place the blame on my gullibility or his cleverness. Everywhere Sarah and I went, whether to the mall, the clubs, the movies, or around the base, he treated me like I was the only lady in his life. And I had believed him. He never gave me a reason to think otherwise. His friends were so programmed that they continued the lie even when the truth was revealed. Okay? I'm not sure how long the cover up would have continued if Suri had not planned a trip to his hometown, Miami, Florida, where his wife lived. With only 2 days before he left, guilt must have forced his confession. What hurt most was that on the night we met, I directly asked him if he was married because he wore a ring on his wedding finger. Yes, he did. Not a military. No, it's a military ring, and this is the only finger it fits. He said. Yes, he did. I examined it, and it was a military ring, as he had stated. But I now know that it replaced his wedding band. His game would have worked had he not grown in love with the seventh wonder. Mm. Surrey and his wife weren't married a year when the union was threatened. His deep seated belief that the marriage was doomed from the start supposedly justified his actions. He married in a rush, hush, in a drunken state of mind. He didn't have the heart to cancel the wedding after she had notified guests that the hall was rented. The week that Surrey was in Miami, he called me frequently, attempting to allay the hurt and anger that surfaced with every question screaming within me. How dare you lie to me? I thought you were honest with I thought we were honest with one another. Like a batter hitting balls from the home plate, he knocked my concerns right out of the ballpark one by one. I didn't want to hear it. I was mad at him and and at myself for falling in love with a married man. Oh my gosh. I wish that I could have turned my feelings off, but my heart was not in accordance with my head. Each response, prof- professing his allegiance, oh my goodness, to our relationship, nudged at my emotions. Surrey left for Miami with one suitcase, but upon his return, there were three. Are those extra bags your wife's baggage? I asked at the airport. No, those belong to someone more important than she'll ever be to me, he answered. Oh my goodness. Unless his mother was coming, I knew that he was referring to a child. I prepared for more heart wrenching news. I was right. He and his wife were the new parents of a son, which was the reason for his home visit. He explained that they would be coming to Washington State the following month after he completed a 2 week field duty exercise with his unit. Learning about Sari's son and upcoming reunion unleashed another river of tears. With this much drama, my life was beginning to look like an episode of The Jenny Jones Show. Oh, that was a long time ago. Sister girl, drop that zero for a hero. I could hear the audience members say, advising me. Of course, it's much easier said than done when it's someone else's emotions, but my heart was broken. Mm, that was episode number 2. This gets real juicy. Okay? If you would like to follow along or read ahead, you can order your own copy of Miracles in Action at miraclesinAction.com. MIRACLESINACTION, miraclesinAction.com. I also have a workbook to walk you through the process with practical steps from grief to peace. I have a documentary film and a children's book with beautiful illustrations. The children's book is really special, especially the way God told me to show the letters. I also have a private Facebook group called Grief to Peace. You're welcome to join. Please like and share, click the notification button so you can know when the next episode is available. If you know of a church or retreat, a conference or book club that would like this absolutely fascinating supernatural testimony from the living God we serve, please put testimony in the chat because I'm more than excited to come out and share the glory behind his story. Let the Lord bless you and keep you. Let the Lord make his face shine upon you and give you grace. Let the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Why? Because peace is priceless. Okay, until next time.